so here we're going to start looking at numbers, and we definitely want to make sure that we get the basic understanding that numbers work just as any other data works. Right? We can print it and we can do operations on it. So here I have an example where I run the program, but just to show you that it actually works. It printed the age 30. If we want to have it more meaningful, of course, we could have printed the name with it, so nothing wrong if we do that. Alright, but the whole emphasis of this lesson is really about numbers. So if you look at, you can see that we can do calculations in a print statement we can add. So let me try another number to show you. So we can print 5 plus 5. Alright, so it sort of works like a calculator. Alright, so we get 10 as the answer there. Of course, we can print variables together. So let's say we have 3 persons and we want to add their ages together, right? So we have age 1 equals 20, age 2 equals 30, and age 3 equals 50. Alright, so we can add these together and say we're going to print age 1 plus age 2 plus age 3. And let's run this. And so we get 100. Okay, so you can add the variables and they will add the values inside of the variables. Okay, now when you want to do calculations such as division, you're going to get an interesting result here. So if we divided this by 3, which really is like saying get the average, we use the slash operator like that. Okay, so the slash operator gets you to do division. Of course, we have to enclose this in a bracket because this division here must be a part of a math formula. So, okay, that's just how Python works. So we put our brackets in and it allows the division to work because it has to add these up and then divide that. So we can't just do it like regular math that we'd write on paper. So notice we get a decimal number this time. Alright, so these whole numbers here that have no decimal point are called integers, right? And it's int for short. Alright, this should have been a comment. So this is an example of an integer value. Now the result of this calculation, this creates a float, or what we'd call decimal point number. Alright, so we'll talk more about integers and floats, of course, but we actually had here an example of, let me put a comment here, find the average of 3 numbers, okay, which is a typical question that you get in programming for somebody to do. Okay, now here's a calculation that we can try. So the speed of a car is 80 miles per hour. Let me put a comment here. How far does it travel in 2 hours? So let's keep it simple. Alright, so this is the practice program you're going to try to use. Let me just give you all the operators that you need to learn. So the plus sign is used for addition. The minus sign is used for subtraction. The slash, like that, is used for division. And the asterisk, single asterisk, is used for multiplication. Alright, so example of this is number 1 plus number 2. Example of this is num1 minus num2. Again, just examples. Example of this is num1 divided by num2. An example of a multiplication here is num1 and 2. So these are examples of using variables with the various arithmetic operations, and this is how it would look in Python code. And remember, all of these lines here with a hashtag in front are comments just for you to read. They don't affect the program and they're never run, they're never executed. So this is a question I want you to do, and here's just a reference here to give you some commonly used operators. Alright, so you can pause the video and you can try to do this right now. Save your code on repl.it.